I don't even believe in the whole when you get the budget, because you wanted to do something, you got the way to get it done. Because the way I look at it is that if you're saying I can't afford this, you're saying this is how much my dreams cost.
Back in 2007, 2008, I got my first job with the government, and we used to get these 15-minute breaks. And every 15-minute break, I would go online and check out Medium. And I learned about Dr. Benjamin Hardy. Well, last year, I went back on Medium to look at some of my old posts and to drop something new about marketing. And then I came across this one guy who was writing about writing framework. He was writing about writing, and it was really good. I was learning from him, and then I looked at the avatar, and it was a black guy. And I was like, what? That's what I'm talking about. We need more of us out here sharing the jewels about how to write and how to grow a business in the writing space. And so today, I actually had the author of the article that I found last year, KP. You can call him KP. I call him the rich uncle, Curtis Pykes. Thanks a lot for joining me, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I was last year. I was doing some marketing for like freelancing, doing marketing after I came out of my juice bar and closed that up. And so I'm online just trying to get better. And
Mhm.
I also found Nicholas Cole on Medium like years and years ago.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna go back on there, just trying to one get some inspo from other people that's writing, see what kind of stuff. I mean, by now I'm following him on Twitter and stuff, but I remember his post over there, and I saw you post, and so I read the like you know how you can use your one free article and read something on
Yeah.
Medium. So I read
Yeah.
your post, and I was like, yeah, I want to see more, and I was like, damn, I forgot Medium changed. I'm not about to pay the 5. I'm not paying. I'm not paying the gate. So let me see what else I can find from my man. Then I found you on Twitter, but it was like it was kind of old. It was on X, and it was kind of old. And I was like, oh, he didn't post over here that much. Well, I'll at least subscribe to him on Medium so I can get an email anytime he posts, and then see if I want to go on, pay for it, and read it or whatever. Then I
Right.
found you on LinkedIn, and as soon as I found you on LinkedIn, I just reached out and said what up. Like that was it. I just reached out and said what up, and just kept following. So tell me about how you got into writing, Curtis, and like what got you into space and how long you been doing it.
Yeah. So I've been writing for 5 years now. I started in 2020,
Okay.
January of 2020. The context of it was that I was working as a machine learning engineer, and
Oh, nice.
yeah, it was like my first time in a sort of tech role, and a lot of the people in my industry didn't know about AI, or at least in my company, they didn't know about AI. So I had to explain things to them. And as I was
Mm,
explaining things to them, I realized they didn't understand the language that I was using because there was hyper technical terms that are only related to AI, and they don't know about it. So what my line manager at the time said to me was, start writing, because when you start writing, you'll be able to break things down more simply, and it will help
mm-hmm.
you explaining concepts to people. So I initially started writing based on the advice of my line manager, and just to help me think better. So I wrote like maybe one or two articles, and I was like, oh, cool. Obviously I started with Medium just because I didn't have to do the setup and the host and all that. Everything was done for me.
Yep.
Wrote my first article. It was good. Got like it's probably one of my most used articles as well. But I just couldn't be bothered to keep going with it. And then COVID happened. When COVID
Yeah.
happened, I got put on something called a furlough, which is when the government pay 80% of your salary to you so that you don't get laid off. So the
Okay.
government was paying 80% of my salary, and I wasn't allowed to engage in any corporate work for my company. And I was
Mm,
like, all right, cool, I'm getting a full salary, and I might get laid off in the future. I don't know how long I'm going to be on this for. Let me just write and like use that as a way for me to learn the field more so that I can build up some sort of a portfolio that I can present to people um, when I want to get a new job. So I just
you
went
mean
in.
you mean learn the writing field or learn the machine learning
No,
field?
learn the machine learning field. The writing stuff came way later. Um,
Gotcha, gotcha.
it was still AI, it was still machine learning. So I just went in on it and managed. So I got made redundant in September of 2020. 2 days later, I got a contract for like writing stuff on AI, and I was like, crap,
Nice.
like this can become something. So yeah, for about 3 years, I've just 4 years, 3 to 4 years, I was just actively writing every day and doing it for clients, working in that sort of industry. Yeah. So That's how I got into it.
Nice.
Long story.
No, I mean that's great though, and you could tell you've been doing it for a while because you had to think about like the time frame. Like, damn, I've been writing. When you put in that much work, it's like you just did it so many times. You just right. It's like one big loop of just
Right,
writing
right,
consistently, right? Yeah.
right, right,
Because
right.
I used to practice writing, so I have a feel for what you did. But I'm gonna keep it real. When I saw your post, and I was like, well, I was trying to figure out what platform I was going to write on, and I was always into LinkedIn because it was B2B. But when I saw your
Mm,
Medium post, and then I seen what you had on X, I was like, I don't know where this guy is, but this would be my competition. Like, not because you're a black guy, but just because you're writing online. And so I'm
mhm,
like, it's a worldwide thing. Like, you can write for anybody anywhere. But I was like, I gotta
mhm.
get at least this good. I didn't really think in terms of like Nicholas Cole and any of the other people because they've been writing for so much longer.
They
And the way
actually
you were
Nicholas
writing, like,
Cole
was
got a degree.
exactly, exactly. So I was like, I can't catch. It's not like I was trying to catch you. I was more like inspired. Like, you might be my competition. Like, if we had the same clients, but even still in the world of writing, because you can just pick any writer.
Who
If
you
you
want to
like how
listen
they
to?
write, things like that. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So so you were writing about AI, and then you started transitioning to just getting different clients, or do you still write mostly for AI clients?
Yeah, so when I was writing for the AI clients, I was more of like what I like to call a commodity, or some people
Hmm.
call it an order taker. So people will come to me with their predefined strategy and ask me to execute. And the
Okay.
problem with that is there's a ceiling to how much you can charge. And the only way to scale that profitably is to do more. Um, so I mean, I scaled it. I mean, I charged more until I got to a point where I couldn't charge anymore. And
Hmm.
then it was just about taking on more clients, asking for more work, doing all this. And that got a bit tense because I was working 10-hour shifts and making like what was I making? 2 to 4K a month.
Hmm.
And I'm seeing guys working 4, 5, 6 hours a day or 20, 30 hours a week, getting 60, 50K a month. I'm like, bro, like these guys ain't got two heads, you know?
Right.
So I I invested in, was it Matt Gray? Yeah, I invested in Matt Gray's course first.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Um yeah, I invested in Matt Gray's course, learned how to build an offer, learn how to put things together, um, use that and just moved away from the whole um content side of things initially. But then I was like, oh, this isn't enough. Like I need something different. So I went to Nicholas Cole's course and learned a
Okay.
bit more about the ghostwriting side of things. And they had some really cool training for sales scripts and all of that stuff. So I used that, started doing sales, and then I got a coach who is on salary now. I meet them whenever I need to talk about systems and help him with like things with delivery and all of that stuff. And
Got
they
you.
really helped me dialing my offer because they were more hands on than Nicholas and Matt could be, just because they're not working with a group of people. So like if I came up with an idea that sounded brilliant to me, they can look at it and be like, no, this crap. You need to think about this and this and this and this. And so done that, and then yeah, since then I completely stopped working with AI folks and now only focus on like writing side of things, content and sales
Man.
systems.
Okay. Yo, that's so great. I'm so glad you said that because so many people across any business really, they don't believe in investing in a coach. And I understand you don't really have a budget for it, but it's going you buying back time, or you paying down the time it takes to actually get good at the thing. So hats off to you for that, because I did the same thing when I started my juice bar. Like, it was a guy online, just on YouTube. He was like recording in front of a curtain. Like, it was very low fi, right? But it was good content, and he already had juice bars. He was already successful. He did a juice truck, and then he had like two juice bars out in LA, where that's like juice bar heaven, other than like Indonesia, where the fruit is freshest, right? Or some, or in the Caribbean. But as far as the states, like, that's one of the top places, that maybe Miami, right? So I'm watching his content, and I was like, well, he already got the blueprint. I'm gonna just go ahead and pay him. So hearing you say the same thing, I think that's a big lesson that anybody listening to this could take from that. Like, yo, when you get the budget, like, first maybe account for that before you
Do you know
go ahead.
what?
What
I'm
you?
sorry to cut you off there, by the way. I don't even believe in the whole when you get the budget because If you really
Mm.
wanted to do something, you'll go out the way to get it done. Because the way I look at it is that if you're saying I can't afford this, you're saying this is how much my dreams cost. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I know
Yep.
that might sound a
Yep.
bit harsh for some people, but that's how I look at it. If someone says to me, Curtis, this costs 10K, and I say, sorry, I can't afford it, I'm saying I can't pay 10K to live my dream life. Like, it's up to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you truly believe that it's going to help you get the results, then figure out a way.
Man,
Like, if it means borrowing money, I've borrowed money to pay for courses. I
I love
think
it. Yep. Yep.
Matt's course, I borrowed money to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if you really want to get the results, you're gonna figure out. Like, look at how I speak to myself. I speak to myself. I was like, look at how you badly you wanted to buy those trainers. Look how like you wanted to book that flight. Look how badly you wanted to book it. Look at what you've done to go and make sure you can go on that vacation. So
Yep.
if you're willing to do all of that for your entertainment, how much more should you be willing to do for your dream? So it's a prioritization issue for me personally, and I don't want to impose that on anyone else. This is just how I see things.
I appreciate that. People need to hear that perspective though, because not enough people, people who are trying to get in business, one, they don't have enough people to talk to about it. Two, the people they talk to about it don't tell them the real deal truth. Like
Right.
you gotta invest at the level of sacrifice it take to not be who you was yesterday.
Exactly.
It costs. That's what it costs. Like it could be time, it could be money, it could be relationships. So I'm really glad you shared that because that's just key. And you kind of talked about where it got hectic. Like you said, it was getting tight. Like you could only deliver a certain amount, right? In 10 hour shift.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. So this year, I scaled up. So I mean, I said I was earning about 2 to 4K for about, dude, I was doing that for about 4 years, man. It got tiring. And
hmm
this year, things, I got my offer in place with my coach, and things scaled up to about 14, 15Ks months.
okay,
And I was doing delivery for about 5 people on the fly, and it was just me. So it got
nice.
to a point where I didn't even have time to get more customers. Like, I was just dealing with the people in front of me, and it got scary just because I was like, oh my gosh, what if these people go? What if these people go? Spoke to my coach, and we documented some SOPs, so we got the processes and everything that I follow in my business down to T, and it's just about now um handing it off. So hired a VA, taught them the exact process, taught them how to create SOPs. They create
Yeah.
my SOPs. I just explain to them, hey, this is what we want, this is what we need. Can you get this done? They're like, yeah, sure, bam. And so nowadays, I'm only focused on delivery and closing. A lot of the things in my business have been delegated.
Hey, quick break in the video to bring you two things. First, if you didn't know, 78% of customers shopping for services online go with the business that responds first. Not the best and not the cheapest, but first because that speed gives them confidence that you can get the job done. So if you're a service-based business owner and you know you're losing leads because you're either too busy with fulfillment or you drown it in all the other admin work, click the first link in the description and I can help you set up a system that responds in 2 minutes and not 2 hours. This way you won't lose deals or clients to businesses that are responding first. You can start to make more money every month and continue to grow your business. Second, if you're a business in Baltimore and you want to share your expertise, share your origin story, talk about how you got to where you are in your business, and you want to learn how to use AI to grow your business into the future, click the second link in the description and apply to be a guest on the Build Different podcast. All right, now let's get back to the show. That's great. So what I'm hearing is like you learn. This is what I need you to start dropping the jewels, right? And you can share as much as you feel comfortable with in the business, but you scale just you started at the that's the part people really don't talk about, Curtis. I'm so happy you said this. You started at the ground level. You put in the work first. Like you got to actually learn the things that you deliver in your business, and then you
Mhm.
scale that up using SOPs, and then uh,
I scaled it
hiring
up
VAs,
and then I documented the SOPs so
and
that
then
I
you
know the
document
exact processes that I was doing,
it.
and I handed that off. And I got my coaches team to train my VA on how to create
Okay,
SOPs and how to do all of that stuff. So now
so
if I
then you
need a
didn't
new
even have to,
SOP, sorry,
so then you didn't even have to do the training. Somebody else did the training for you, so you
yeah,
could
I
keep delivering.
don't have time to do the training.
Yep, yep.
So I had to bring someone else in to come and do that for me. Um,
hmm
and it's been helpful, man, because if I had to learn it and pass it on, come on, man, like. So, but it's great, because now all I have to do is I create a video and be like, this is the process that I need you to document. Go and document it. We've got everything written in our not CRM, in our dashboard. And then if someone else comes in, which I am looking to do in the very, very near future, they
Mm-hmm.
just they know exactly what they're doing from day one. They just read the script. Oh, this is what I'm doing. Da 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 da. Bam. So
Yeah, see,
yeah,
now you're talking my language. So right now, I spend a lot of time working with people on like their business systems, and like you took, like like, well, you lead a show, like essentially you're a one man group, right? And you like contract out, but even you understand as a single person, you need to have like SOPs, you need to have a dashboard because what's important is so that you can deliver like high quality results for your clients. And you say you spend most of your time delivering and closing, like closing sales, right?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So can you tell me a little bit about that, like inside the business, like how you go about like closing sales and how do you get most of your clients? Is it inbound, outbound? Like educate the people on that.
good question. Um, I started doing outbound this year, but every single client I've ever worked with has always been inbound. I my strength isn't with my outbound, and that is where I'm heavily investing now. Just
Gotcha.
because I believe with outbound you get more control over the system. Inbound is very sporadic. Um, it's still good. Don't get me wrong. Like I do get good inbound leads. Like I speak to people weekly because of it.
Hmm.
Not weekly, daily because of it. But outbound's where is that? So I do outbound now. I have a two-step very like cool process. So I'll just vet them on the. I'll vet people in the DMs. I wait for them to tell me what their problem is. The minute
Gotcha.
they openly express their problem, I'm the solution. Hey, if I showed
Mm.
you a few strategies, um, if I have to open up 15 minutes in my calendar to show you a few strategies to solve this problem, would you be open to jumping on a call? 9 times out of 10, yeah, sure, definitely. I'll definitely hop on a call with you. And then from there, I'm just vetting them more. I'm asking them more questions. I'm discovering, is this person qualified to hop on a call? And then from
Yeah.
there, we have the girls' call. Now, I say that to you now, this system is definitely going to change. Um, I don't believe it's necessary for me to have that 15-minute call if I do extra vetting in the DMs. So if I
Gotcha.
can get that extra vetting in the DMs, I want people hopping on calls with me with the right frame, knowing that I'm about to sell you. Not feeling like, oh, I'm a salesperson, but more like I'm going to help you help yourself, if that
Exactly.
makes sense. Right. So that's my main sales process. But the majority of the time, people will see my content and they'll just be like, yo, dude, you right, dope. Can you help me? And I'm just like, yeah, cool, let's
Yeah.
talk about it. Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to talk to you about some of the writing techniques, but I want to go in a little bit more because everything you just said is it's a mindset that I think we got to embrace better doing any kind of business because so many people say they don't want to be salesy. But if you don't sell anything, then you can't have a business and you can't grow a business. And what you said first was you framed it already. If I opened up my calendar for 15 minutes to show you some strategies, not like you're talking down to them, but you actually, that's an offer to help somebody, right? It's not even,
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily charging you, but I thought that was good. And sales is actually what you just, it's helping somebody get more of what they want. If you got to
Yeah.
convince somebody, then now you out of pocket and you like might got thirsty energy or something like that. But if
Right. Right.
persuasion is not that bad, persuasion means they're already interested.
Right.
And so you just giving them the direction to go and you are that direction.
Yeah.
So is it easier? Do you find it easier via text or when you're on the call? Like as you got more experience in doing sales,
Yeah.
which one do you think is tougher?
I wouldn't recommend the text at all, personally. I know
Hmm.
some people are like masters of it, but I think there's nothing that beats being able to see your face and speak to you about something, Like if
Hmm.
I can see you there and I'm telling you like, hey, I see what you're doing. Like I can see what is aggravating you. I can see when I say something, you're like, oh, that makes sense to me. And then I make a note of it and knowing that I can repeat that in my content because it's resonated with somebody else. So it becomes a pain point for me to drag out and use on someone else word for word.
Hmm.
I
Is that
don't
something you
quite.
learned from your coach? Sorry, is that
Sorry.
something you learned from your coach? Like,
That's actually just how I've always made content, because
gotcha.
you got to remember when I was doing the AI stuff, I'm talking to my colleagues and they're asking me questions. Oh, what does that mean? And then I just
Okay.
be like, okay, let me go and create content about what does that mean. So that next time they get stuck, I'll just be like, hey, by the way, you can check this out, and send it to them. So a lot of the time, in fact, most of my content comes from conversations that I have with people, and I find that one is real because I'm is a real experience that's been lived. You can't go on ChatGPT or you can't go on Gemini and all these things and Google all of that stuff and ask, oh, what do you think about? No, you can't do it because it's a real experience. And I think because it's that, it touches people a bit more, or people can read it
Mhm.
and they'll be like, oh crap, this guy knows me, man. Like, how the hell does he read my mind like that? And that's
Yeah.
the kind of effect that I want to get on people when I'm creating content, all times.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that. I noticed that too. Like, I mean, you're already good at writing, but you write. It definitely feels like some of the stuff. Like I'm inside of the story that you're sharing,
Right,
or that you're
right.
telling in your post. So yeah, you do a good job of that. So I think that
I
that's
appreciate it, man. It's
I think
always
that
the
that's
goal.
yeah. No, seriously. I mean, I pay attention to that. That's a part of being a part of having like leading a business, whether it's one person or 100 people. The person that's leading has to have a good eye for something. So having, especially in the day with AI, having good taste is important. So you have good taste in how to write, right? How to craft writing, okay? And
100%.
then somebody looking at that, they understand they may not have that skill, but if they see yours, like anybody that's coming inbound, like, can you help me? They have enough taste to know that is better than what I'm doing, and I should,
Right,
get help
right.
in that way.
Right. And it happens
So,
often. Like I'm so glad that I haven't had to work with anyone that's been super arrogant. Like everyone that's come in and said, you know what? I know AI. I know whatever it is they do, whatever they have expertise in.
mhm.
But I'm not good at marketing. Come in and help me with that side of things. And I appreciate those types of people because it's like they give you room to be creative and do your thing. Whereas I've
Yeah,
met people who are like, nah, I don't like it like this. Like sometimes, okay, I'll give you an example. I have clients, I'll write stuff for them. Super cool people, by the way. And then they will go and make edits. And I'm like, no, 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 no. You missed the whole point of why I put it like that. Like that's deliberate. That's what we're trying to use to trigger an emotion. So if you
hmm
try and logic it out and explain it, you're gonna miss that point. So that's like, especially like with hooks, like sometimes they'll come in and then they'll come and write some over detailed hooks. And I'm not saying that they're bad people for it. It's just they don't understand the concept of it, especially when they're trying to own that area. Whereas when I
yeah,
have clients who are like, no, I don't understand this. Let me question it and let him give me an explanation so I can see his thought process behind it. And then
hmm
if it makes sense, we can go ahead with it. But if it doesn't, nah, let's change it. I prefer that. Like, challenge me. You know what I'm saying? Challenge me. Let me rationalize to you. And if it doesn't make sense to you, let's go with what you're saying.
yep, yep. And then you can always test it. All right, so now we're here. Now we're here. We're talking about hooks. You're talking about what you're writing. So give us some game on how to write some better marketing. Like if somebody's just coming in the game, they have some level of expertise, which I'm imagining most of this audience is going to be people who have a business. And most people, this is not a knock, but most people are not good at marketing because we're always so close to our businesses. So
Mm-hmm.
if we trying to get in the game and do a little bit better marketing, let's say it's
Mm-hmm.
from a just like a most people. Okay, I'm gonna give you the frame, KP. I'm gonna give
Mm-hmm.
you the frame.
Mm-hmm.
Most people still getting into understanding personal brand. So people still
Mm-hmm.
approach stuff like business branding. And business branding is very bland. It lacks character. That emotional resonance is not always there unless they have like a marketing team or somebody like that. So somebody trying to transition out of that, they trying to like just step their game up and either beat somebody at business branding or can do better personal branding with their marketing. Wh- tell them what to do. Tell them what to do.
I would say the first thing like you should ever do is start with
Mhm.
your highest leverage. So if you have
Can you say it again? It blanked out right real quick. Start with
start with your
what?
highest point of leverage.
Okay.
So if you've been writing, okay, I've been writing for 5 years. That's a high point of leverage for me. I've written, let's say I have 5 billion impressions. That's a point of leverage for me. If I've okay, I said to you that all of my clients have come in through inbound. That's a point of leverage for me.
Mm,
Collect all of those points of leverage that you have and start with those. And then what you want to do when you've got those, talk about the process you went through to get from, I mean, because you never had those points of leverage before you started. So
mm-hmm,
talk about where you were before and then how you got to that point of leverage. So it's always about speaking from your place of credibility. And then always, and on top of that, you're always sharing your transformation. People care more about your change and how you've helped change than just the whole generic, most people don't get this right. No, they don't care about that. I mean, if you've written a bit of content on LinkedIn, right?
mm-hmm.
If you go and look through your stats right now, I can bet you almost anything. Your content with the most engagement will always start with I.
Mm.
And the
That's
reason why, sorry,
I said no. That's a gem. That's major
oh,
right there.
your most important content will always start with I. And the reason why is because people care about your transformation, not you, not necessarily you, but your transformation. So that's why you see a lot of people on like LinkedIn, they'll be like, oh, I got 20,000 followers in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how. Those types of posts always blow up because one, it highlights a point of leverage and it talks about the process from the point of no leverage to the point of leverage for the individual.
Come on, man.
So
Come on,
that,
man.
for me personally, if you want to create content effectively, just list down everywhere that you got a point of leverage. And it doesn't necessarily just have to be in your content. Because I did have a client one time and he's got a service. He offers a service to healthcare companies. And we were creating content about healthcare companies and no one was really paying attention to it. And I said to him, dude, can we try something? I created a piece of content about him and his journey in consulting. Dude, can I swear?
Yeah, sure. It's okay.
Blew the fuck up. Like the thing fucking skyrocketed through the fucking roof. And I just and then he was like to me, dude, what the hell? Like, that's not even for our audience. And I was like, hold on, let me check something. So we done it like 4 more times. Every single post blew up. Now he's like gone on his own and he's still doing it and it's still blowing up. What happened there? He didn't have content market fit with his service because he doesn't have enough credibility in that area yet. However, he will build credibility because he's talking about his consulting journey. So him talking about his consulting journey will build his credibility as a consultant, which will allow him to get more clients so that he can talk about healthcare and all of that jazz later. So he
Mm.
doesn't have enough credibility to speak on the things that he's speaking on yet. So no one cares. But when he started speaking about what he's done, everyone's like, "Oh shit, yeah, this is great. This makes more sense. This makes like ton of sense."
Was this
And it
content on LinkedIn?
was on LinkedIn.
Yeah, yeah. So that was major right there because I noticed that I found that myself too. Like you can get imposter syndrome real quick on there because everybody's such a high level professional. So you kind of want to out professional them or out expertise them, and you got to really be real with where you are in your journey. But
In your journey.
thinking about yeah, when you talk about your journey, if you sound like you're a rookie and you're new to the game, you feel like that's not good content, but that is how you connect like with actual people, like how you're saying. So but what I asked you a question about this for your client though. Those pieces of content blew up, but did it convert for him in any kind of way, like other than getting impressions? Do you know if it led to any kind of conversion?
So here's the problem now that a lot of people are having on LinkedIn because they'll come in and be like, "Yeah, it's going viral. It's not good because it doesn't mean anything." And I my I used to be a part of that posse as well. Um, and it's going viral so many times with so many different clients has taught me a lesson. It's just that we might think that we know what we want to sell, but at the end of the day, the market defines what they want to buy. So I just said to him, bro, listen, I'm gonna be so honest with you. You have an opportunity to create an offer here to help people get into consulting. Create an offer where there's demand. Like the people are listening to you already. So if you're going viral on a certain niche, create an offer based on that. The scary thing about it is that you're like, no, I want to sell this. And I'm not saying that you should stop selling this, because the fact that you're selling this is what's allowed you to create the opportunity to sell that. But right now, your point of credibility, where people want to listen or hear from you from, is here. Sell here. And as you move forward, you can now present those things, like maybe even on the back end, but you can present that later on. Does that make
Nice.
sense? And I'll give you an example of where this happened. I don't know if you know Justin Welsh.
Yeah, yeah, I follow Justin Welsh.
Right. Justin Welsh started around the same time as I did on LinkedIn. And when he started, he was creating content about sales, because he was a
Okay.
sales guy. Right. And before you knew it, he randomly created a course on LinkedIn, how to grow on LinkedIn. And I was like, what the frick? What does this have to do with sales? It doesn't. But that's where the demand was. People were DMing him, asking him, hey, how did you grow so fast? Hey, how did you like create such good content that goes viral? Or how did you do this? The demand was there. And I think any good businessman knows that if there's a demand there, you just got to supply the need, you know? So
Mhm.
it's about dropping the pride and saying, look, I'm going to go. So to answer your question, did it directly bring him sales for his current service? I mean, I think he said he booked about 5 or 6 calls from that for his current service, but he got tons more people talking about the journey into consulting.
Got you. Got you. Yo, I think, yeah, that's major. I keep saying that's major, but it really is, because it's hard sometimes if you think you got a business and you think your business is this thing. You often identify with that thing, like you are that thing. So if you turn your back on it, or you say, nah, this is my business, and you miss out on all the other opportunities because you always hear like stay focused on the one, make the main thing the main thing. But the way you're expressing yourself naturally is attracting this. That's actually your main thing.
Right.
That was kind of hard for me. Like, what happened with me is I was doing my juice bar, and I'm a certified holistic nutritionist. So I'm thinking the natural path is do holistic health coaching and plant-based coaching. But I'm also a man. Most men don't care about being plant-based, so I'm going to have a lot of women clients. But most women relate to women. So it's just continually shrinking my customer base. And then I'm realizing I'm so close to the health thing that I don't communicate this well, because I'm just too close to it. You know, like if something's really close to you, it's blurry. You can't see it well. I'm too close to it. I'm not really meeting the clients where they are, or it's difficult for me to meet them where they are, because it's like stuck on automatic for me, or it's like default, not automatic. It's like default. Like you using these big terms and you breaking down whatever the expertise is that you have, and most people are not there, so you're not talking to them. They're not really trying to hear what you're saying,
Right.
not learning the lessons. But I'm getting inquiries about business, like how to start a business or a business idea, or around marketing. And I've had multiple businesses and still felt like I don't have enough experience to to talk to people about business. Like you got to be a bit. I follow other people who are a big deal in the business coaching space, and they're legit. Like they're not scammers.
Mm.
So it makes me feel so small that I can't go talk to other people. But all the time, people are asking me about those things. So I started to open my mind up to that. And so, like you said, you just create an offer around what people are actually asking for, especially if you're early in your business, because like nobody knows you anyway, right? Nobody
Right.
knows you enough about that thing, so they're not gonna hold
Exactly.
it against you if you do the other
They're not
thing.
going to hold it against you at all. I mean, I if things were different for me, I would have
Mm,
kept a job and started creating content online, and then see where I create demand. And the minute I identified where the demand was, I would have quit. I would not. I would have quit. I would have like run a little A/B test. Is let's see if this demand is real. I would
mm,
have put out maybe a product or a service or something that would have allowed me to get some revenue. And if it made sense, like it was balancing out what I was earning at my salary or something like that, then I would have
yeah,
quit. I didn't have the option to do that because I was made redundant. I didn't
yeah,
I had to survive immediately. So I mean, if I was to say that to anyone else, and I would say go that route. But if you was like myself, where you had to kind of like jump in the water and swim, like just figure out how to swim, then you gotta be ready to make mistakes, man. And I've made a shit ton of mistakes because I've gone stupid viral multiple times and didn't capitalize on it. One of my
mm,
stories is one of the biggest on Medium till this day, and I never monetized anything outside of Medium from that story. And I mean, in hindsight, what I would have done is maybe used it to probably go and do like speeches, because people were trying to book me to go and do keynotes for them and do conferences and speaking. And
Nice.
I was like, I'm not a speaker though, I'm a writer. Like,
Yeah.
can you see how I just like I was able to get in my own way and all of them things
Yeah.
there? So I was, yeah, in hindsight, I think I would have just dropped the ego and said, demand is here. This is where people are seeing the like how I can fit in. I mean, I know I don't want to just bend to what people want all the time, but the demand is there. Like, it's really there. Fill
Yeah.
people's needs rather than what you think people want.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's big. Look, I got a homie right that I went to high school with, and his
Mhm.
dad was a lawyer, his mom was a principal, but his favorite uncle was a street guy. And his uncle told him, he was like, "Yo, hustlers sell what's hustling. Today I got this. If couch is selling tomorrow, I'm the furniture man." I was just
There you
like,
go.
I love it. I love it,
It
So
makes sense. Like, yeah. So,
yeah. Yeah. So I like that. Thanks for sharing what you would have did different. I normally wouldn't ask that. I probably would have phrased it different, but that is basically what I would have asked you. Like, what would you have done a little different before you got in this space? And I think about that too now. Like now I'm a full-time entrepreneur and working for the government for a long time. I actually did dabble in like a bunch of different side things, but I would have doubled down on being intentional with content just to see what people wanted. Like when we started using it early, it was more just about like personal expression. I didn't see it as a marketing channel for myself. I was still thinking in terms of like business branding. So we would market our business. Like I had a nightlife and events promotion and stuff like that. And then even when I had the juice bar, it was more like business branding. But I definitely would do the same thing. Like even now, if I took like a position from somewhere else, I would just focus on that, and then you would see my content switch, and I would just write about whatever I like and whatever got the most hits, whatever people were responding to. I would focus on that.
I mean, sorry, I'm not trying to say that's a bad idea, by the way.
Hmm.
I think I would have still said stay niched within a specific set of expertise. Like, okay, for
Hmm.
instance, like I said, Justin was creating sales content. I would have still created a specific type of content, but I would have just filled in that need. Like, okay, for instance, I went to Romania in 2023
Okay.
because a guy out there, he was like, hey, let's do a skill exchange. I want to learn how to market my business because I suck at marketing, but I know how to build stuff. And you want to code, you code. Let's do something. So like, I'm a senior engineer. I can teach you what I do and how I think through problems and build out projects and all that stuff. And you can show me how you market because you're really good at that. I was like, yeah, cool. I linked up with him, done it and all that stuff. He blew up after that online. Like he's got like touching 90,000 followers now.
Nice.
And I stopped writing, but I didn't stop immediately. But had I paid attention to the fact that, and he wasn't the first person to ask me, by the way, there was so many people in the AI space that was asking me, how do I create my content? I could have done all the stuff that I done this year in 2023 because
Okay.
the AI folks were already on my case asking me, hey, can you help me do this? But I was so hell bent on being a technical guy that can write code and all this stuff that I just said no. So
Yeah.
to
I
to
like
come
that.
back to it,
I agree with you. I would do it that way too. Like I would typically if you're writing about the things you like, it's going to be kind of
it'll be niched anyway. Yeah, exactly.
it'll be
Yeah,
niche
yeah.
anyway.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
You're
so
right.
I agree with that. I definitely would have did that. And looking back, it's a whole lot of stuff we did different. But you just don't touch on something that me and you talked about just briefly before we did this, and that was using AI. And you said you use it. I mean, of course, you use it to some degree, but I didn't know you had a background in it. So you having a background in it, and so how do you use it now in your business?
Yeah. Mainly for writing. So I'm still the brains. I will never let AI become my brain.
Hmm.
Um, I dictate how AI should think. It will give me the first draft. I will edit it and rewrite it and then reprocess it, send it back to it for it to look through it, and then it will give me some corrections. And then I will read it again and say, does this sound like me? No. I'm not gonna say it like that. Um, Is it written well, like the punctuation, grammar, and all of that stuff? Yeah, all right, cool, no worries, we can go with that. But beyond everything, the ideas, the processes, so you'll never know that I use AI because I'm the one that's thinking for it,
Hmm.
which is where I
Have
think
you
a
ever
lot of
given
people
it?
make sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think a lot of people make the mistake of trying to offload a lot of thinking to AI,
Yeah.
which it can't do for you.
Yes. Yeah, I use it. I've used it every day since November 30th, 2022. Like, because my back was against the wall. Like at my juice bar, I'm gonna bring it around to what you just said. So my juice bar was, um, I had two, and the second one was at Johns Hopkins. So I was literally producing 10x more, like in a week. I had to go from what I was doing in my regular juice bar to serving 10 times as many people. And it was tough. But when AI came out, a lot of the admin stuff got easy, or I could simplify it. And my talent was already in marketing, so like my background was in like graphic design and like marketing and stuff like that for doing like parties or whatever. And I was like, I need to be doing more of that so I can get more people in the door. Like I can't keep standing behind this counter making juices. And so I was using AI to help me write. And like you said, you can't you can't offload thinking to it, right? So you
No,
already having the background in writing and coding is what I like to call, like, you have a high foundational level of critical thinking. So you're not really gonna go below your floor of critical thinking. Like, one, you probably like it, you feel more comfortable doing it, and then you can assess things better. Like, does this really sound like me? It doesn't. And some people, it's not that they just never spent time in that space, so they assume that
they don't.
AI is gonna do that
They
space
don't
for
know
them. Like,
what the quality of good means.
yes, they
You
don't know
have,
what good looks like, and that's what we were
yeah,
saying in the beginning. If you're going to lead a business, you have to have some level of taste because you got to know what good looks like, and that
right,
applies to content. So I like that you
right,
shared that. Like, you started out, you might let it do a draft, but you have to be precise with what I really say that. Like, I'm gonna pull that word out. That don't really, I ain't gonna say that. And then like you
right,
structure it, the way you write the way you write your content. Like, I don't know who your clients are, so I can just read your content, and it has that slippery slope effect. It makes me want to keep reading, click the more button, see what else is going on. So
right,
you've
right,
done a good
right.
job with that. But have you ever given AI like a writing style guide on your behalf? Like, this is what I do, and then you give it that context and the background, so it can, when it write, it's like basically cross referencing that.
Yeah, but it never captures that accurately. So it's like it knows all of the frameworks that I use to copyright, but
Right.
it doesn't do it in the way that I want it to all the time. So, like for instance, let's just say I'm using Paz. Paz is like one of the most popular copywriting frameworks. Problem agitates solution or problem amplifies solution. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the way it would frame the problem or the agitation or the solution doesn't fit with how I've seen the image in my head. So
Okay.
if I'm framing the problem the way I want to frame the problem, in fact, let me just see if I got an example there. I don't need to share a screen, but I can say it word for word.
Okay.
Ah, I wrote something this morning. Good. Hold on.
I can share your. You feel comfortable with me sharing your post from this morning?
My LinkedIn post. What did I
Is
post
that
this morning?
is that
Yeah.
what you want to
So
share?
no, I was actually gonna go on Medium, but we can look at my
Okay.
LinkedIn post this morning.
No, you can share the medium. I can't share that one,
Yeah.
but you can break it down for us.
Yeah. All right. Is acting silly. Hold on. I got it on my phone as well. But let's just say I'm doing a framework for an article or a piece or something like that. Oh, it's even messed up on my phone. All right, good thing I got it on Notion.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So let's say I'm trying to write a PAS thing, yeah, a PAS framework.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it might frame the problem, but it will come up like most people don't like water. I don't
Yeah.
like framing it like that, and the only way that I will frame it like that is if I can give a number. So I'll say something like 90% of the population are starved of water, or they don't understand the value of water. Something like that. I'm gonna use a number and then I'm gonna blow it up. Probably not even that. That's not controversial enough. But um, from there, I want to proper go into why that's a problem, and then I want to touch on the amplification, and then I want to give the solution. AI doesn't do that strictly enough. I feel like sometimes they just want to write a bunch of points because you told it to do it, and
Yeah.
I don't like that. As a writer, I guess, or someone who knows what good content looks like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
like how it flows when it looks like that. So I'm very particular in how I start my sentences. And I know that there's certain things that I can use to qualify people. Like I think you said I wrote something today. In my post today, if you want to print money on LinkedIn, you must know how to write. So I've done two things there. I've made people qualify themselves by saying if you want to print money on LinkedIn, I'm not qualifying you and I'm not calling anybody. I'm just saying if you want to print money on LinkedIn, so you have to look at yourself and say I want to print money on LinkedIn. Then I say
Mm-hmm.
you must know how to write. And so you're now saying, crap, do I know how to write? If I'm not printing money, then that means I don't know how to write. I have to learn how to write. And then I say something alone. I say something that gives me social proof. This skill alone has made me six figures in 2025, and I've never
Mm-hmm.
even gone viral. So people are now saying, shit, what, I have to go viral? No, I don't even need to go viral. I can make six figures in
Mm-hmm.
2025, and it's not been 12 months yet. Um, I must know how to write. I can make six figures and I don't need to go viral. So I've
I
cleared
like I like that.
objection. I've qualified the person that I'm talking to, and I've given myself social proof for why you should listen to me. AI doesn't know how to do that.
Yes, it's not out, and it can't pass the eye test. Like it doesn't see how the people feel about
Right,
whatever the
right.
problem
It
is.
doesn't know how. It literally can't do it. It can give you something that will make you say, "Oh, this is interesting," but I don't need interesting. I need people to take action.
Yeah, no, that's great. I think like I'm big on AI because of the speed it gives you and the leverage it gives you. But I don't think it makes you good. And that's the reason, like I don't know how, like I actually follow the news. Like I'm subscribed to a few of the newsletters, and a lot of 60% of ChatGPT sources from Reddit because real people give real responses on Reddit. And AI know it can't see the world, so that is the place where the world shows up the most with the realest like dialogue and input.
Oh,
So that's where it's getting most for ChatGPT, Claude, and for Gemini. Yeah, it fluctuates, but for ChatGPT, it's sourcing a lot of the information from Reddit because that's where it can get the most like real time inputs, like what people really said, real quotes from real people, and then it can pick up on intent. But outside of that, it just will never know. Only people like you and I could input it, or
mhm.
other business owners. You like you gotta input it. You know,
Right.
today I was standing in line, and like I'm just framing it as a business owner. Today I was standing in line. I'm in my business. I'm in my shop, and like the line was really long. But I'm noticing like the two people in the back, they hit it off. They just talking or whatever the case may be, and that because they bonded over a photo I had in my store. AI can't see that, and it may be a
No.
delay on when those people share that to the internet. But I can see it, and now I can talk about it because the last person that came in the store, they liked the picture too, right? And then like now you can build content off of those types of things. So
Around that. Right.
yeah, yeah. So you people should definitely I think should be aware, more aware of like you have to be the source. And that's why I
Right.
say like humans amplify the AI. Humans give AI the actual leverage, and then it gives us back leverage as far as like speed, data, and like output, not the actual input. And so that's what
Right.
again back to what you were saying. It can't do the critical thinking for us. So
Right. Right.
thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. Well, I got a lot from you. You really went in and broke down like how people can think about writing things better. You gave some examples. I appreciate that. You gave a couple examples. Like you got a lot of clientele over there, man. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you on that, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So let people know where they can follow you. We want people to definitely follow you and learn more
Yeah,
about
for
this.
sure. I'm on LinkedIn. It's my full name, Curtis Pykes. Everyone calls
Okay.
me KP, so feel free to call me that. I'm also on Medium, Curtis Pykes. I think my display name will be KP, but yeah, LinkedIn and Medium .com. Um, in the future, I will be on Instagram. I've already created the page, but I'm not active on it at the moment. But it's Curtis Pykes. I will also be on YouTube in the future. Potentially, I'm talking like next year. So, um,
Okay.
those things are created. If you want to go and follow it in an anticipation, then yeah, sure. But nothing's on there at the moment. But LinkedIn and Medium, I'm active.
Nice. Nice. I like that. And you in your space where, well, I want this one last thing, and you can tell me how you feel about this. What I
Yeah.
realize is that the framing for your business outcomes is important. So, like the framing of your audience. So, you're on a platform that is best suited for your skill set, which is writing, and for the outcomes you want, which is business outcomes, like not popularity outcomes or like attention outcomes. Like people, readers are on Medium for different things. Now Medium has a lot of different categories and things are broken down so people can be very specific. I noticed that about your Medium post. I didn't realize it at first, but they're not just on your page, they are inside like specific categories for like marketing or for tech or something like that. And like
You
you
mean the
might have,
publications?
yeah, the publication, that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
they're in different publication sections. So I think that that's great. And that's another thing anybody listening to this should pick up on. Like, what is the outcome you want? Like, who wants the results you can get them?
Yeah, yeah.
Those
I
people,
think
if those people are on LinkedIn, then you should be over there.
right, right. I
Yep.
mean, there's a book called Who Not How by Benjamin Hardy.
I was just
One of
talking about
your authors,
yep.
and he was just saying, "Oh no, sorry, that's not even the one I'm talking about. I think I'm talking. Who Not How is basically talking about if you want to like scale faster, you have to ask the question, who can help me get there faster?
Right.
Not how can I get there faster? Because if you put it on you, then you have to do all of the work. If you say
Hmm.
how, then any avenue can help. I
Yep.
think what I'm talking more about was is it 10x is easier than 2x again by Dan Sullivan, Benjamin Hardy, but I can't remember. But the long and short of what I was saying is just you have to define the end goal first and reverse engineer from the process. Otherwise, everything you're doing will not make sense. It won't work. You'll be disconnected. You'll be reactive. You won't even be motivated to wake up every day. Like there has to be something pulling you. Um,
Hmm.
rather than you pushing and trying to do something. Otherwise, you won't be able to do it.
Absolutely. We're gonna leave everybody on that one. You need to have something that's pulling you towards a goal, not you pushing every day for it. Well, KP, I appreciate it, man. I'll leave a link to all of the places they can find you, and we're gonna package up some of his knowledge and share that as well. So thanks a lot for your time. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you on LinkedIn soon.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for your time
All
and the
right, man.
opportunity to speak on it.